Most people already know that INFJs are the rarest personality type in the world, often described as mysterious, deep, and almost impossible to fully understand. But here's the twist that most people never talk about: not all INFJs are the same. Yes, they share the core traits of intuition, empathy, and insight, but some INFJs carry something extra: an edge, a presence, an almost untouchable energy that separates them from the rest. These are the Sigma INFJs. Think of it this way: a typical INFJ is already rare, but a Sigma INFJ is like a rare gem hidden within an already rare stone. They combine the trademark depth and sensitivity of an INFJ with the radical independence and nonconformist spirit of the Sigma archetype. It's what gives them that paradoxical vibe. They're both highly connected to the emotions of others yet fiercely detached, deeply insightful yet impossible to control, and magnetic to people while craving absolute solitude. And this is where it gets interesting. Sigma INFJs don't just think differently, they live differently. Their perspective on relationships, society, authority, and even morality often clashes with what most people accept as normal. That's why many find them controversial, misunderstood, or even intimidating. But beneath that mystery lies a strength that can't be faked. So in today's video, I'm going to break down 10 controversial signs that reveal you're not just an INFJ, but a Sigma INFJ. And trust me, if more than a few of these traits resonate with you, it means you're operating on a completely different level of consciousness than most people. You're not just walking the INFJ path, you're carving out your own, untamed, Sigma path. Let's dive in. Number 1, you're both a lone wolf and a people magnet. Sigma INFJs are living paradoxes, and nowhere is this clearer than in the strange tension between their solitude and their magnetism. On one hand, they thrive in isolation. Silence, stillness, and independence aren't just preferences for them, they're necessities. A Sigma INFJ recharges not by being around people, but by retreating into their inner world, where their thoughts and intuitions can run free without interruption. They can spend hours, even days, in solitude without feeling lonely, because their mind is alive with meaning and imagination. And yet, here's where the contradiction hits: despite their need for distance, they carry an energy that naturally pulls others in. They don't need to perform, brag, or chase the spotlight. They could be sitting silently in the corner of a room, eyes lost in thought, and somehow still command attention. People find themselves drawn to their calmness, their depth, and the quiet aura of self-possession they radiate. It's not loud charisma, but something more mysterious, the kind of presence that makes people ask, "Who is that?" even if the Sigma INFJ hasn't said a single word. What makes this paradox even more fascinating is the irony at its core. While most people chase attention, Sigma INFJs avoid it at all costs. They don't seek validation, applause, or recognition. And that very refusal to chase is what makes them so magnetic. Mystery, after all, is irresistible. The less they try, the more people want to know them. Their silence speaks louder than words, and their absence often commands more attention than someone else's performance. Number 2, your empathy comes with detachment. INFJs, by nature, are empaths. They can pick up on the emotions of others almost instinctively. But Sigma INFJs operate on a sharper, more refined edge of this gift. They don't just feel emotions, they read them, dissect them, and understand them with laser-like precision. They can step into your storm, absorb your pain, and offer you a level of understanding most people will never experience. But here's the twist: unlike many empaths, Sigma INFJs don't drown in what they take on. They've learned how to hold space for others while keeping their own inner world intact. This ability often shocks people. Someone may pour out their heart to a Sigma INFJ, and in that moment, they'll feel seen, heard, and validated on the deepest level. But once the interaction is over, the Sigma INFJ can step back and release that weight instead of carrying it with them. This isn't indifference or coldness, it's mastery. It's emotional discipline. They know the cost of carrying everyone else's pain, and they refuse to let it drain their spirit. This is also why guilt trips, manipulation, and emotional blackmail don't work on them. They can detect the hidden motives beneath emotions and draw a firm boundary without losing their compassion. They feel, but they don't get trapped. Where most empaths get consumed, Sigma INFJs learn to swim, carrying with depth while protecting their core. They are living proof that empathy doesn't have to mean self-destruction. Instead, it can be balanced with sovereignty. Number 3, you question authority, even moral or spiritual ones. Most INFJs are known for their deep respect for traditions, moral values, and spiritual teachings. They often find comfort in guidance from established systems, whether it's religion, philosophy, or respected mentors. But Sigma INFJs carry a different fire within them, one that refuses to kneel before any idea without first tearing it apart and testing its truth. They are natural skeptics of authority, even the kinds of authority most people consider untouchable. Political leaders, cultural rules, religious doctrines, and moral codes, none of these escape their scrutiny. This isn't because they are rebellious for the sake of rebellion. It's because their inner compass demands authenticity above conformity. They can't accept sacred truths just because the masses do. If something doesn't align with their intuition, their logic, or their lived experience, they will challenge it, even if it means standing against the majority. To some, this boldness makes them visionaries, able to see cracks in the systems that others blindly uphold. To others, it makes them dangerous, disruptive, even threatening to the status quo. But Sigma INFJs don't care about being liked or accepted. They'd rather stand alone with their truth than blend in with a borrowed belief. Their independence of mind is both their shield and their sword, a force that keeps them from being controlled, manipulated, or boxed into someone else's version of morality. Number 4, you don't want to lead, yet people follow. The Sigma INFJ has no desire for thrones, titles, or spotlights. Traditional leadership, with its politics, responsibilities, and constant demand for attention, feels suffocating to them. They value their freedom too much to be tethered to authority or chained by obligations that restrict their independence. In fact, they often go out of their way to avoid formal positions of power, preferring to walk their own path in peace. And yet, paradoxically, people follow them anyway. Why? Because leadership isn't about titles, it's about presence. Sigma INFJs radiate an inner steadiness, a calm authority that people can sense without being told. They lead not through commands, but through example. Their quiet confidence, depth of thought, and ability to remain grounded when others panic make them natural anchors in chaotic environments. Without even trying, they become the person others look to for direction, stability, and strength. This form of leadership is more powerful than the loud, performative kind. Sigma INFJs don't demand respect, they earn it. They don't seek followers, yet people are drawn to their clarity and conviction. Ironically, their refusal to chase control gives them more influence than those who crave it. In the end, they embody a rare kind of leadership, one rooted not in dominance, but in quiet, undeniable gravity. Number 5, you have a love-hate relationship with people. Sigma INFJs live in constant tension when it comes to human connection. On one side, they are capable of deep warmth, generosity, and soul-level intimacy. When they decide to open up, they can make someone feel like the most seen and valued person in the world. Their ability to listen, empathize, and understand often leaves a lasting imprint on the people lucky enough to experience it. For those moments, it seems as though they were born to connect. But just as quickly as they appear, they can disappear. One day they're fully engaged, offering their energy and presence. The next, they've vanished into their inner sanctuary, unreachable and silent. This abrupt shift confuses people, who sometimes interpret it as coldness, indifference, or even rejection. In reality, it's not personal at all, it's survival. Human interaction, as fascinating as it is to them, can also be profoundly draining. Every conversation, every emotional exchange, every subtle undercurrent of energy adds weight to their already sensitive psyche. When that weight grows too heavy, freedom becomes their first priority. They retreat, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. To a Sigma INFJ, solitude isn't a luxury, it's oxygen. Without it, they lose clarity, balance, and authenticity. The paradox is striking. They love people deeply, but they love their independence just as fiercely. This creates a rhythm of closeness and withdrawal that defines their relationships. To truly understand a Sigma INFJ, one must accept this duality, that their distance doesn't cancel out their love, but rather protects it. Number 6, your morality is self-made, not inherited. While most INFJs draw their sense of right and wrong from the structures around them, family values, cultural traditions, or spiritual teachings, Sigma INFJs take a radically different approach. They deconstruct every belief handed to them, stripping away inherited rules until nothing remains but raw questions. Then, piece by piece, they rebuild their own moral framework, one that is entirely their own. This makes them unpredictable to outsiders. A Sigma INFJ's choices may not always align with what society calls good or acceptable. To some, this looks rebellious or even dangerous, because they refuse to be guided by collective standards. But for them, living by borrowed morals is the ultimate betrayal of the self. They would rather walk alone in authenticity than blend into a crowd governed by rules that feel hollow. Their self-made morality is not reckless, though, it is rooted in deep reflection, empathy, and principle. They consider the consequences of their actions, weigh the integrity of their choices, and follow the compass of their inner truth, even when it sets them apart. This is why Sigma INFJs often unsettle people. They cannot be controlled by dogma, guilt, or shame. Their loyalty belongs only to what resonates deeply with their soul, even if it isolates them from the safety of the herd. Number 7, you're mysterious, even to other INFJs. INFJs are already regarded as some of the most enigmatic personalities in the world. They tend to think in layers, conceal their deeper thoughts, and guard their private lives carefully. But Sigma INFJs take this to an entirely different dimension. Even people who pride themselves on cracking the INFJ code often admit that the Sigma variant feels like staring into a maze where half the pathways are hidden. They appear open in certain ways, sharing just enough to seem transparent, but the more you think you know them, the more you realize there are parts of them you'll never touch. This isn't a flaw or accident, it's deliberate. Sigma INFJs curate what they reveal and what they conceal. They're acutely aware of how much of themselves they show, and they maintain mystery as a form of both protection and power. By keeping others guessing, they maintain control over their relationships and their image. They don't fear being misunderstood, in fact, they often prefer it. That aura of controlled secrecy makes them magnetic. People are drawn to them not just for who they are, but for the unanswered questions that surround them. And this is what makes them unpredictable. You can spend years trying to piece together who they truly are and still discover they've been holding entire parts of themselves back. To know a Sigma INFJ is to accept that you will never fully solve them, and that very impossibility is what makes their presence so compelling. Number 8, freedom matters more to you than anything else. For many INFJs, love, intimacy, and emotional connection rank at the very top of life's priorities. But Sigma INFJs place something even higher on the pedestal: freedom. To them, independence is not negotiable. They will sacrifice comfort, stability, status, and even the security of love if it comes at the cost of their autonomy. Their spirit cannot be caged without consequence, and any attempt to control them only accelerates their retreat. This devotion to freedom explains why Sigma INFJs sometimes appear uncompromising in relationships. Their love always comes with a silent condition: accept me as I am, or let me go. They are not the type to bend themselves into submission just to keep someone close. Instead, they'd rather walk away and endure solitude than remain trapped in a situation that compromises their inner sovereignty. And while this may seem harsh to some, it's also what makes their loyalty meaningful. When a Sigma INFJ chooses to stay, it isn't because they need you, it's because they want you. Their love is never born out of dependence or fear of being alone, but from a genuine, conscious choice. That's why their presence feels so powerful. They are with you not out of obligation, but out of freedom. And nothing, in their eyes, is worth more than that. Number 9, you play the outsider even when you're inside. Sigma INFJs possess a rare ability: they can blend in almost anywhere. In a group setting, they know how to smile, laugh at the right moments, and even charm an entire room if they choose to. To the casual observer, it may look like they're completely engaged, fully part of the group dynamic. But beneath the surface, something else is happening. No matter how they appear, they always keep a part of themselves outside the circle, watching, listening, and observing with surgical precision. This duality gives them a unique vantage point. While everyone else is swept up in the noise of conversation and group energy, the Sigma INFJ is quietly scanning the undercurrents. They notice the subtle power plays, the micro-expressions, the unspoken tensions that others miss. Their outsider's perspective grants them razor-sharp insight into human dynamics, often seeing truths people go out of their way to hide. But this gift comes with a cost. Because they never fully dissolve into the group, they often feel like perpetual outsiders, present, but not entirely connected. They're part of the room, yet always standing slightly apart from it. It's as if they exist in two places at once, inside the moment, and outside of it, looking in. This paradox is one of the reasons Sigma INFJs often describe themselves as both belonging everywhere and nowhere at all. Number 10, your silence is louder than words. When conflict erupts, most people rush to defend themselves with louder voices, sharper words, or heated arguments. Sigma INFJs take the opposite path. Instead of escalating, they withdraw into stillness. Their silence, steady and deliberate, carries a weight that words rarely achieve. It unsettles people, because silence strips away the noise and forces others to confront their own emotions without distraction. A long pause. A calm, unwavering gaze. A refusal to react. These simple acts from a Sigma INFJ can shift the entire dynamic of a confrontation. Where others might try to overpower with volume, the Sigma INFJ disarms with presence. Their quietness isn't weakness, it's control. It says, I won't waste my energy battling chaos. I'll let the truth reveal itself. In a world obsessed with constant expression, their silence becomes an act of power. People lean in, search for meaning, and feel the weight of what isn't being said. That's why a Sigma INFJ silence commands more authority than another person's shouting match. It carries mystery, composure, and unshakable strength, a reminder that sometimes the loudest statement is made without uttering a single word. Final words. And there you have it, 10 powerful signs that you're not just an INFJ, but a Sigma INFJ, a rare blend of depth, mystery, and independence that sets you apart even from others who share your personality type. This isn't about labels for the sake of ego. It's about recognizing the unique way you move through the world, questioning what others accept blindly, valuing freedom over comfort, and carrying an energy that's both magnetic and untouchable. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you recognize yourself in these traits? Do you feel that push and pull between connection and solitude, empathy and detachment, belonging and standing apart? Or do you think the whole Sigma INFJ concept is just another internet myth blown out of proportion? Whatever your perspective, your insights matter, so drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's open this conversation together. And if this video resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into psychology and personality, and share this with someone who might need to hear it today. You never know, it might be the reminder they've been waiting for.